Guys, let's go ahead. They'll just keep coming in here. Kathy, you can let everybody in.
All
Keep
right.
doing this, but we'll get started. First of all, if you're a guest with us, welcome. It is good to have you with us. You're always welcome. We're here every Tuesday, doing this. We've been doing this now for 4 or 5 years or so, and it's been just super helpful to all of us. I think just participating, new ideas, new things. Staying ahead of the curve with technology, all kinds of stuff here. But it's great to have you here. So you're always welcome. And Freedom Team, as always, good morning. Welcome to you. Just a quick reminder: tomorrow is the big agent meeting with EXP. Our Wednesday mastermind is now moved to Fridays. So join us on Friday at the same time, same Zoom link. We'll be here for that. So, guys, I'm excited today to dig into this a little bit. Tony Williams, Tony and his wife Pam, they're in Atlanta. Tony has been in this business for 47 years. That's crazy, Tony. I mean that's I don't know. Have I heard anybody that's been in longer than that? Have I talked to anybody around here that's been?
Not
That's just a
many.
long time. You started when you were 12, 13. Is that
Hmm.
right, Tony? When you got started?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but 47 years in the business, 33 years he was with Remax, and 25 of those years was a broker owner at Remax. And his brokerage, for 15 years, his brokerage was in the top 50 of all Remax brokerages, worldwide or in the U.S. And so, anyway, Tony's done some big things with in real estate. He had 180 agents doing 3,000 deals a year at his brokerage with Remax. So, anyway, just done some huge things. 8 years ago, he and his wife they moved over to EXP, and his daughter and son-in-law are eight-time icon agents with EXP. So the whole family is doing just big things in real estate. And for those of you, if you're a guest with us, an icon agent at EXP is basically doing figure on average between 25 and 30 deals a year, maybe more or less, depending on just the price of the homes, that kind of stuff. But big agents, super productive agents. And so anyway, Tony as well has hit icon, and 85 to 90% of his business comes from his Google business page. How many guys, just by show of hands, those of you have camera on, who has a Google business page? Just raise your hand if you have a Google business page. Okay. Um, Hold your hand up if you made $50,000 in commissions last year that you can attribute back to your Google business page. Raise your hand. No hands go up. Okay. So back several years ago, we had Aaron Ken come in and did a phenomenal training that I went in that night. Aaron makes 100,000 a year from his Google business page. He's one of our Freedom Team agents down in Dallas. And Aaron and I have known each other for 24 years since I got in this business. And Aaron walked us through step by step how he does that. And I went in that night and set up my Google business page. And that was in October of 2023. December of 23, my wife and I had our first two closings from our Google business page. And we did 100,000 the next year from our Google business page. We had another guy come in here a couple months ago, do a training. And Tony he's got his page up and running. 85 to 90% of his business as an icon agent, and his kids, icon agents 8 times, 85 to 90% of their business comes from their Google business page. So, Tony, this is going to be almost like part 3 of this Google business training. Okay. I think to take those other two, which I'll put those other two in the chat here as we get going so you can find those. But I think with what we're going to hear from Tony, practically like how to make this work and how he's done it. Tony, we appreciate you being here. I think this is going to be awesome just to be able to hear it and how you're working. If everybody could just do one deal this year from their Google business page, would it be worth it? Absolutely, because it costs you nothing to do. So anyway, Tony, I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away. Thank you again for taking some time and being with us today. Okay. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. I'll tell you this, that I'm on a lot of different Zoom trainings, and Freedom Team is incredibly professional, incredibly informative. And I just take it as a great honor to be here today to be able to share with you. And I tell you, each chance that I get, I'm on here to get all I can from the Freedom Team, and I really do appreciate it. So what we're going to try to do, first of all, is share our screen and go from there. Let's just see if we can do this, Jeff. I'll see if I can share the screen.
You
And
got it. There you go.
look,
We see it.
you see it?
Good
Okay,
job,
cool.
Tony.
Oh, thank you so much.
You
Hopefully,
did it.
hopefully I'll be able to work the clicker and all this stuff over here as well. So when we started out, I went to a meeting, a face-to-face meeting, and in that room, we talked a lot about Google Business Profiles, and I listened in, and the people in the room, we essentially agreed how important it was to have your Google business profile set up appropriately. And one of the things that we did on the very front end is we made Google mad. Essentially, what we did was trade reviews. And by the end of the day, the way that we did that, we traded these reviews in this room of agents. And at the end of the day, we started seeing where our reviews were being taken down off of Google. And so what I want to make sure that we do today is anything that comes from this, I'll answer your questions, one to one, anything that I can do here, or you can contact me, off of today's training. But I want to make sure that you don't break the system. I want you to enhance the system. So the very first thing that we did when we started up is we set this up the right way, and hopefully I'll be able to show you how we did this. And then once I had this set up, it took me about 2 weeks to set it up the right way. And then a guy called me from Florida, and he says, "Man, you own your area on Google." And I said, "Well, thanks for the compliment. I take that as a great compliment." And he goes, "Now I've got a piece of property that I want to buy. I'm coming out of Florida. I'm a pilot, and there's a $900,000 piece of property I want to buy. Can you write it up for me?" And I said, "How did you pick me?" He goes, I went and read about you from your reviews. So what I want to do is take you step by step on how to get your Google playbook set up appropriately, and show you. Uh, I've been doing this now for about 2 years, but it has drastically changed this past year. And it changes all the time. And that's one of the big things is trying to figure out how to keep up with this. And I'll give you some solutions on that as well. So what we want to see first of all is your Google business profile is the best free lead source you can have. But most agents barely touch it. And 78% of the real estate reviews happen on Google, not Zillow, not Facebook, but on Google. And then 3/4 of the people who search near me contact someone that day. 3/4 of the people, you see that when they say near me, they contact that agent during that day. And so a fully optimized profile is going to pull in 15 to 25 calls in a month. People ask me from time to time, they'll say, "What kind of business are you getting off this now?" And I'll tell you, the phone rings, and I have a way of tracking that. 15 to 25 is a pretty good number. I'm right around that 18 to 20 mark as far as good calls coming in all the time. And then the thing that I want to make sure of on this is that I'm correctly positioned on the maps as well. And we'll talk about that. Today, what we're going to build is we're going to start with a foundation. We're going to claim and lock down an accurate profile. And then we're going to optimize that profile, giving you the correct category, services, photos, hours. And then we're going to review the engine, which is the single highest leverage habit that you can do. We're going to talk about content and engagement, what kind of posts to put up, how to gather questions and answers, and how to message people right away. Then we also want to venture into how to get found on AI so you can position for Claude and for Gemini and for ChatGPT and all Perplexity and all the different AIs that are out there. You can position yourself so that they'll find you there as well. And then we want to measure and maintain those track leads and give you a routine to watch for every 15 minutes, or just a 15-minute routine you can do to watch for those things. So how does Google search and how does Google search become a client? Every lead follows the same 5 steps. someone searches realtor near me, they discover you in the maps, and they evaluate you on their reviews. They take a look at the photos and the posts that you've put up, and then with one tap, you're going to get a contact from that. And in all that, one of the ways that I know is I have a Google phone number that I subscribe to. I want to say I pay less than $10 a month for it, but in my ear, it'll say Google call. And they don't hear that, but I hear it in my ear. And you know how you get spam and you hear a funny beep out there? You know it's spam coming in. Well, when you get a Google call, you'll hear something that says Google call. And I make sure that I answer the phone appropriately. I'll say Tony Williams, eXp Realty, and and then it comes through. And many times, I'll just let them talk. When a Google call comes in, there's a recording that's going on by Google, and it's evaluating that call from me. When a Google call comes in, if it's a good call, I may pay, anywhere from a few dollars up to, I don't know, $50, $60 for that call, depending on the quality of the call. And I have my system set up where Google knows what I'm looking for and also knows what I don't want. So the most important thing on this is to clarify, you know, what's going on in that foundation, the exact system. So the way to get started with this is you really need to search for yourself. So you go to your maps and you search for yourself. And when you search for yourself, you see if your profile already exists. The thing you want to make sure that you do is never duplicate your own name. Okay. When you duplicate, you may say, well, you know what I'll do here is I'll search for myself and I see, that I'm there, and I'll put another one next to it to try to get more calls. Well, Google knows those kind of tricks, and you don't want to do two. You want to claim the one that's already there. If you don't see yourself there, go to this website, go to google.com/business, sign in with a Gmail account, which is a Google account, and it'll tie that listing on the map to you when you create it. And then there'll be a wizard there that you can take. You run the wizard, you verify your profile, and you finish up your verification. And I'll show you in a few minutes when we get off here, if we have enough time at the end, I'll take you live into my back office and show you how to get verified. And then you optimize what has been verified. And that's what we'll talk about in the rest of this playbook here. So if you don't see yourself in the maps, go to google.com/business and set it up. So the categories and services, this single ranking right here is the most important one. When I started off, I thought, well, you know what, I'm EXP, so I'm just going to put in there that I'm the agency. Well, I'm not the agency. Okay, now if I were a team, I could put my category in as an agency. But when I switched it over to actually what I am, now Pam and I, we're considered an agent. We're a domestic partnership team inside EXP, but we're considered an agent with Google. So it's critical that you set up your category the correct way. So if you're a team, you could say that you're an agency, but if you're a solo agent, you're an agent. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to fill in the services section. What do you do? And like in mine, I don't have time to work on low compensation rentals. I just don't. And I don't have my team set up in a way where we can follow up on rentals. So it's not part of the services that I provide. But I set these things up. Now, one of the things that I did about 2 weeks ago is I went into Claude and I asked Claude, look at my Google business profile and tell me what I'm missing. Okay. And it gave me all these different, accolades of you're doing a great job and all this kind of stuff. And you're much better than other agents with this. And you should be getting business from this. And then all of a sudden it says, you're missing your commercial side. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not a commercial agent. But every once in a while, I'll sell a commercial property. Notice I said every once in a while, once or twice a year. So I added commercial into my services section. And then yesterday, I signed in a commercial agent into EXP. And I asked him, I said, how'd you find me? He said, I found you on Google. I see that you work in the commercial sector. And I said, yes, I'm primarily residential. He goes, great. He says, yeah, and I said, but I've got someone that I work with, and we looked at co-sponsorship. That I've got someone that I work with that's on the commercial side. He goes, great, just hook me up. So just make sure that you have your services, expanded as much as you possibly can within the reason of what you really do. Then you want to complete every field. Your accuracy is going to rank inside Google. Notice the first thing there is, match your name, address, and area and phone exactly across the site. And what that means is on Zillow, on Realtor.com, and all your different portals and all your different directories, it's real important that everything matches up. So go through and look at all the different portals that you may be able to find yourself in and make sure. For instance, I had some portals that just said Tony Williams. I had some portals that said Tony and Pam Williams. I had some portals that said Georgia Home Info. I had to go back and reset those portals, and that's a whole different course, but making sure that my what I call NAP was consistent. And then also Google's wanting to make sure that you have accurate hours of when you're open. As a real estate agent, we're open 24 hours, really, is what it comes down to. But at the same time, Google will ask me from time to time, are you open on the 4th of July? Are you open on Thanksgiving? Are you open on Christmas? So it's important that we adjust our hours appropriately as well. And then under your description, get as close to 750 characters in your description as possible. And then make sure that you have a trackable phone number. And I use my Google business profile to make sure that I have a Google number that I can track. Uh, I can't tell you how important photos are. 520% more calls from profiles with over 100 photos. And the thing you want to do is you want to do it right. Use real photos, your listings, your sold signs, your headshots, no stock imagery inside Google. One of the things that Google likes is it ties a GPS to a picture. And even if you need to get a little app, where you can tie your GPS and where you took the picture, Google likes to see that it's a real photo. And then add 3 to 5 fresh photos every 2 weeks. And I just, raise my camera from time to time and take a photo, and then I'll add it in. Show the neighborhoods you serve and any, additions that are going on, in those neighborhoods. So the next stat you see there is that over 1,000% more website clicks come from photo-rich profiles. So you want to add photos. You go back to your profile, you did your search, you look for your profile. How many photos do you have there? And just, do all you can. Now, it's better to add photos in a systematic way instead of a bulk dump. Google, it's like I was saying about that meeting that I went to, 30 of us decided to trade reviews one afternoon. That was bad because if they see a dump coming in on photos, they'll back your rating off. Okay. Now, reviews are the heartbeat of your profile. One of the things that I had in the very beginning is I think I had around 18 to 20 reviews when I found out how important Google Business Profiles were. And how did I get 18 to 20? Just somebody along the way, without me asking, put a review up for me. And then I found out how important it was that I get more reviews. So I hired a system to send out requests for reviews for me. And I said, I want to do it in a way that Google likes because I've been to this meeting and I did it the wrong way. And so this company, they said, okay, here's what we want you to do. send us a CSV file, which is your Excel spreadsheet file, with 250 names, email addresses, phone numbers, and dump that over to us. And they said, what we're going to do is we're going to go out and request no more than 4 to 5 a week, okay, for a Google review, for a Yelp review, for Realtor.com review, for a Zillow review, all these different reviews. We're going to request this from your past clients or from your friends and family. And what we'll do is we'll send you a list of those 4 or 5 names every week that we send out to, and you give them a call. You give them a telephone call and say, "Hey, something's coming from me where I'm going to ask for a review from you," and build it up. So I went from around 20 reviews to about 60 reviews in about 3 months. Okay, and they did it in a way where they were asking 5 to 6 to 7 reviews a week, and it built it up for me. I can't tell you how important that was. We were talking about how much you make off your Google business profile. Uh, I hate to even put this out there, but I made in excess of $200,000 from Google Business Profiles my first year. And it was all because of these reviews. So 97% of the consumers read reviews before they choose an agent, and 47% won't consider a business that has fewer than 20. And that's the reason I was never getting anything before. And then, I have to move my picture around here. I can't read my own charts. 25 to 50 target review count came in, whenever you have 2 to 4 every month. And so I get around 2 a week is what I'm getting right now as far as reviews. And I'm up over 150, I believe now, in my Google business profile. So remember, velocity beats volume. Don't bulk reviews, just like photos, be careful about how you put reviews in there. Now, a repeatable 4-touch review system on day one, okay? Don't ask for a review on day one, okay? Send out thank you notes, don't ask for the review, send a closing gift or a note. Now, Pam and I have gotten to the place where we find it's easier to get reviews before the closing. Everyone's all excited, when they say, "Hey, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we're going to go to our closing." And I'll ask for a review right there. But I never ask for a review on the day of the closing. I'll send a thank you. I'll send a picture of the four of us together, with my client on the day of the closing. On day three, that's when I do a direct request. And normally what I do in that request is I ask them, "Hey, would you attach that photo that I sent you of us at the closing or us in front of the house when you do a review for me?" And you have to remind people, especially some senior adults, you have to remind people, yes, I want a 5 star, but I want you to say something. Because many times what will happen is we'll get the 5 stars and there's no review there really. And then on day 7, I give them a soft nudge. "Hey, you remember that review?" And then on day 30, that's one last touch. Then after that, I stop. I just don't drive them crazy after day 30. Okay. And it's really important that you stay compliant in all this. So, ask every happy client within 48 hours of the closing. And, coaching means to mention certain things, like mention when you send me that review, mention where you're living, something about the transaction. Google likes the real estate conversation to happen in the review, and make it, one tap for a direct review link. I send out, "Here's my review link." I don't say to them, "Hey, go on to Google and search for me and see if you can figure out how to provide a review." I don't do that. I send them the link right there. And then you want to respond back to all reviews. Now, I've actually taken on the AI approach for my responses. Someone will leave me a review, and I'll just go to an AI tool and say respond back, and then it'll create that review for me quickly, or that reply back to that review for me quickly. And then any complaints, take it offline. I mean, if they say you did a terrible job, well, don't ask for a review if you did a terrible job. Just handle that offline and never buy reviews. Okay. Don't screen reviews based on satisfaction first. Now, the tough thing that we have is, you know, we only have 5-star reviews in all our accounts. So, we don't have any way of rating them because they're all 5 stars. Never incentivize, never say I'll give you a gift for a review. And then, write self reviews or swap with other agents. Like we could stop right now and say, hey, go into the chat and I'll give you my link. And if you'll leave me a review, then I'll leave you a review. That worked about 6 months ago and it stopped. Okay. So be real careful about sharing reviews because if a bulk of reviews come in at one time, Google's going to take you down, not completely down, but all of a sudden you're going to see reviews are going to go like down real quick. And then be real careful about stuffing your business name in keywords. One of the other things I should have told you about your photos is never take a picture of your sign with your phone number. Google sees that and they say, hey, adjust this rating. They don't want to see your phone number and all in those photos. So be real careful about that. All right. Post weekly, stay active. It drives the clicks. New listings just sold, market snapshots, open houses, neighborhood spotlights. Home evaluation offers. Just post all different types of ideas that convert, and then set your expectations so that you get a click through. And feed fresh content to Google's AI system as much as you can. And it also signals that you're active, you're engaged in the business. One of the things, with where I am in life is every once in a while someone will walk up to me and they'll say, hey, are you still in real estate? Well, there's one side of me that says, hey, they still recognize that I'm in real estate, but another side of me says, I'm not doing my marketing the way I should be because they have forgotten that I am in real estate. Okay. So the thing you want to do is signal to all your prospects out there that you're active and you're engaged, and then end every post with one good, clear call to action. Call, book a showing, request evaluation. A good call to action is so important on any post that you put up on your Google business profile. You can also see the question and answers. From time to time, I'll be with a friend, and these are people that have sent me reviews way back, and I'll say, "Hey, look, would you go on your phone and just ask me a real estate question? Okay, let's go to my Google business profile, ask me a real estate question, and if you're doing all the asking of the questions from your email." Google is going to say, uh-oh, we have someone trying to bait the system again. But if you can get a friend to ask a question and then you answer the question, that's a great way to seed Q&As. And the more Q&As you can get, that's more activity that Google sees that you're doing. They'll ask questions like, what areas do you serve? Do you work with first-time buyers? Can you help with relocation? How much does it cost to sell with you? And you're able to explain compensation, those type things. But keep the questions and answers coming in your Google profile as well. Turn your profile views into a conversation. It's real important that that Google phone number is important to me because really it's my trackable way to keep up with a call. One of the things that happens when they call me, they may not give me their name. But they called me. Google captured the phone number for these people, and then I'll go into a system and check a phone number, and it'll give me a name, and then I contact them back. One way or another, that recording in Google will give you phone numbers or names if you just watch for it. You know, some people will tell me, "Hey, I've got to stop and take a notepad and start taking notes whenever I get a phone call." No, Google is recording everything for you. And then make sure you have a way to message them or chat with them. Some people don't want to talk to you. They'd rather, message or chat. And then make sure that you have your website set up so it can receive clients out there. and then give clear call to actions everywhere. Call now, book a showing, those things. Now, what actually moves your local ratings? Your Google business profile is the single largest ranking factor you control. It's bigger than reviews. It's your website SEO. It's the hub of all your backlinks. I'm going to give you a link here in a few minutes where you can have your website checked to see, is it Google friendly? Now, I love EXP. Okay, it's the best move I ever made, but probably one of the weakest systems inside EXP is our websites, because you can check your website and you're going to find out it's really not that Google friendly. So I had my website ranked, and then I ended up deciding to build a whole new website that was Google friendly. Um, so combined with the reviews, which you drive all the time, you directly influence over half of what ranks you. So you have full control over getting your ranking higher if you will work your system. And we do it kind of like a game. I mean, we'll take a picture and do a rating of a restaurant or whatever. And, like a hardware store says, they've got a thing up there. Here's a QR code. Will you put, a review on Google? And I'll say, hey, is the manager standing around here somewhere? And oh yeah, he's right here. I'll say, hey, I'm getting ready to give you a thumbs up 5-star Google rating. Would you do that for me? And they'll go, we don't know you. And I said, I'm in here all the time buying stuff. And they go, you're right. What's your link? And they'll do that for me. So I ask for Google reviews everywhere I go. Here's some mistakes that'll quietly kill your rankings. People ask all the time, something is wrong with my Google profile. Okay. If you have an inconsistent name and area and phone number, different portals have different names. If you have duplicate profiles, we mentioned that just a minute ago. If you have two of a generic description, passionate about helping clients says nothing. You need to be specific. Neglected reviews. Maybe you're not replying back to the reviews that are given. If you go into your back office of your Google business profile, it'll show you if you have replied to reviews and which ones still need a reply. If your keywords have your name or your company stuffed in there over and over and over, that's a problem. Google sees that as spam. And then if you have an inactive program, no posts, no photos, no reviews, that signals that you abandoned it. And then if it's in the wrong category, like we mentioned just a minute ago. So track the numbers, see what's going on. Okay. Track where your profile views are, see where your queries are coming from. Are they discovery or are they direct? Check the website clicks, that shows that your site has interest. Okay. If when you have neglected program profiles, that pulls 2 to 3 calls a month. If you optimize one, it'll pull 15 to 25 calls a month. So the gap is to make sure that you work what's going on your deck. So here's how to do it. You ready? Week 1, set the foundation. You got to claim and verify, where you are. Go to map, claim it. Okay. Set the primary category, configure the service, and align, where you are, how you're getting your phone calls everywhere. Week 2, upload real photos, publish first post, send 5 to 10 Q&As, and grab your review link. So your review link is in your Google business profile on the back side. And then week 3 is to build the CRM review. Make sure that you have automation set up so that, when 3 requests come in, reply to the existing reviews. We reply immediately. When we have a review come in, it comes into my email, says you have a review. I'll go into my back office of my Google business profile and reply right away. And then in week four is to sustain it, give weekly post, 24-hour review replies, add photos, set quarterly reminders up. Now, if you do this the right way, you could go into, say, Claude, or you could go into Perplexity, and there's a way to set up a loop so it'll work your Google Business Profile for you, or it'll send you reminders. If you set up your AI, it'll do that for you. Now, here's the 15-minute monthly routine. Reply to every review within 24 to 48 hours. Add 3 to 5 recent photos. Confirm your hours. Publish one update, a new listing, a market note, or a closing win. Verify your phone, website, and service areas that they all match directly. Okay, make sure they all match all the way across. And then scan your questions and answers and AI generated content for anything that needs to be corrected. Okay, win your local market specifically. Own your metros by name. So create question and answers, post services, call out specific markets you serve. So you can see we're starting to land this plane. Okay. Show hyper local proof. Post neighborhood spotlights, local market stats, just sold. We live about 3 miles from 3 miles, 3 blocks from the lake. And so yesterday I walked down to the lake and took pictures of the beach area, everybody out there, and then I came back and posted, some pictures around the lake to show local proof of where we are, and then match your website everywhere. Okay, keep the same number, the same name everywhere on Zillow, Realtor.com, on all your different portals. 5 things to remember. Your Google Business Profile is your number one controllable ranking factor. Nail the foundation down, correct the category, service area, and complete it. Build a review engine. Okay. Stay active and measure monthly. Let me jump over to one other. Let me see if I can go back and stop the share, and I'll come back to that in just a second. Go to a different share, show you my back office. Let me just see if I can get into that. I may be asking myself to do more than I can do. Let's see here. Let's see here if I can do that.
This is
Oh,
great stuff, Tony.
well, yeah.
It's so good.
Well, let me just see if I can figure out how to do this. Um, well, I need to get out of PowerPoint. I tell you what, it's going to ask me to finish this thing up. And so let me just finish where I am right now, and then we'll come back to that. Sellers don't reach the phone book. They ask AI. So one of the things I started, checking was, well, I got my Google business profile going. Now, what am I going to do about all the AI that's coming out? And so right now people are looking in AI and checking, who's the best one to sell my home. You know, your Google rating, when someone calls you up and you ask them, how did you find me? Okay. And they say, we found you on Google. And many times when you get a lead from some of these pay per lead deals, you're competing with 4 or 5 agents. But most of the time, I'll ask the caller, how did you find us on Google? And I'll say, would you like for us to come see the house? Yeah, we want you to come out and show us what to do, get it all ready. And then when I get there, I'll just ask them, I say, are you meeting other agents? Most of the time, they're not meeting other agents. You know why? They've already decided based on our reviews, our reputation, that they're going to use us. The other thing to remember about this is Google really likes character reviews more than they like business reviews. They like it when people say good things about you. So your character is very important. So, like I teach a large class at my church. And, I'll ask those guys from time to time, hey, look, if you enjoyed today's, lesson that I gave, go into Google and give me a little rating. And they'll do it. They'll put in there, hey, this was a great talk today. I did a talk the other day. I don't know if I've still got him here. I don't, but I did a little talk the other day about Woody and how Woody, on Toy Story is always trying to figure out how to be relevant And so I did a thing on, how to stay relevant. And so this guy put a thing in there. He says, I love the stuff about Woody and how he stays relevant. And I thought, man, this is great stuff. So I replied back to him in my Google business profile. AI recommends the agent it can see. It doesn't crown the best agent. Now, you may not consider yourself as the best agent where you are, okay? And but the thing is AI, it recommends the agent it can see. What you've earned in your experience. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I don't know if you can see this guy or not. You see him? Notice what it says at the very bottom. It says the GOAT. You see that? Well, my local board of realtors gave me that award, and when I went up there, they said, I thought to myself, well, I'm the greatest of all time. My ego jumped in. It goes, no, you're the old goat, is what you are. Anyway, I wonder. Okay, yeah, they're looking, for a proven track record. They're looking for those five-star reviews. They're looking for a killer presentation. And so Google, it likes what it actually sees. So what that means is you need to put good content on there. They want you, to be visible. They want a conversion, a way to get in touch with you. So if your Google business profile doesn't have a way to get in touch with you, Google sees that, your ratings go down. So show up wherever sellers search now. Okay. Make sure that you show up in all the different AIs that are out there. And then your website's the engine to all this. You know, your website is what creates the SEO, the rankings. Uh, your website is what shows that you're visible on AI. Your website is the IDX, property search. It is what keeps that Google business profile going. That's where you want your press releases and your best realtor pages and your weekly AI blog. I hate doing blogs, but the thing is my AI helps me with that and it builds up my Google business profile along the way. And then automation and follow up is just so important that you follow up. Somebody asked the other day, if you had a new agent and you were mentoring a new agent, what would you tell them to do? I'd tell them to answer the phone. Answer every call, okay? And then the other thing that you'll find is your Google business profile is built around your name, not your broker's name. So what that means is that if you were to move from brokerage to brokerage, if you have a good Google business profile, it's built around your name, so you're not starting over. And know the moment, how to get leads, how to make sure that you have the workflows inside your Google business profile so that you're always top of mind and more visitors are going to bring more conversations and get you more listings. So everything under one roof. So the usual way is most companies, they disconnect all the tools. They have multiple vendors and logins, and no one ever knows the results. So the way that we do it is we work the website to add into our SEO, and that's really the reason I had to fire my EXP website because it was not Google friendly. And now we have one team, one point of contact, and one system that actually fits all the time. Make sure that you're in the system, and I'm saying this now because I got to the point where I thought I have to sell real estate. I don't have time to do all this stuff all the time. And so I went out and found a coach, and that would give me a 60-day guarantee. And then they wouldn't take on too many new clients at one time. And then they would have me up and running within 3 weeks. And so I went out and got a coach that could do this for me. So if you want to know more about that coach, and I just want to disclose there is affiliate compensation to me, but there's a QR code, but they'll give you a free AI visibility check. Okay. They'll check your website to see how you're rated. Okay. And then of course, book a live demo with them as well. So when sellers ask AI who to trust, you're not one of the options. You are the answer. Okay. The highest compliment is when we're sitting at a kitchen table and they say to me, You're the only one we're talking to. Can you go ahead and put the sign in the yard? Can you put the lockbox out on the front door? We're ready to get started. That's the highest compliment I can get when I'm getting a listing, that they already know who I am because of what's going on inside my Google business profile. Okay, that's where I am. Unless you guys want to switch over and see anything in my back office or anything, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
What
Yeah.
is there anything specific in your back office that would be valuable for these folks to see?
I think if I figure out how to get to my back office, I think the thing that you want to do is you want to be verified by Google. Okay, so there's 8 points to get verified by Google, and one of the ones that I had the most difficult time was Google wants to know that you actually work at an office. Okay. Well, I don't, I work, from my home. Okay. So I literally went out and they said, do a short video. Now, this is not a video the public sees. Do a short video showing us where you work. So I went out and took a video of the corner that I'm looking at through my window right now. I took a video from the corner. I ran to my truck that had an EXP tag on it. I ran into my house, had an EXP sign laid in my office, and then I stopped at my desk and stopped the video. It showed that I worked there. Now, one of the things I do is I hide my address from the public, okay? And then I just have service areas. So so I don't have people coming up to my front door, that find me on maps, okay? But that's one of the things. And then the other thing in that checklist to be verified that I had the most difficult thing was insurance. It said provide a copy of an insurance policy. I uploaded my umbrella policy. I uploaded my car policy. I uploaded my homeowner's policy. Nothing worked. So finally, these guys here at Bulletproof, that's where that QR code goes. I asked them, I said, I can't get verified. What's the problem? And I said, the insurance policy. They said, that's your E&O policy with EXP. So I contacted my broker. They sent me a copy of my EO policy. I uploaded that. Boom, I was verified. Because you have to get verified, get those 8 things knocked off. I think there's 8, maybe 7 or 9, but 8 things knocked off to be verified so that your Google business profile is working appropriately. Okay. And then the only other thing in my back office I'd say is I in there I can see the Google calls that come through, and I rate my calls. I want to make sure I say this is a good call, this is a bad call, because Google begins to learn what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'll say this was a great call. I put this house on the market. This was a terrible call. This guy just got out of jail. He's not allowed to live in the county, so I don't have a rental for him. So the thing is you can rate your calls, and that's Kathy, that's probably the biggest thing that's in my back office. Yeah, I saw a
Perfect.
hand go up. Yeah,
There's several questions in here. I've got a couple real quick, Tony. I've got when I set mine up, one of the things that I did, and I think this maybe is in Aaron's training. I went ahead and I did set my hours at 24 hours.
yeah,
I just have it up 24 hours, 7 days a week. Now with that, I have an answering service.
yeah,
So I've got a service that I pay for, and it's $7, $8 a month. Honestly, it's in Florida, but they answer my calls 24/7. And so part of that was just that I just didn't want to, between my wife and I just didn't want to have to be answering the call at 7 o'clock
yeah.
at night or whatever, and I didn't want to, I don't know. What's right or wrong about that? One of the
Well,
things that I have is my phone number on my Google page is like a 214 Florida number, and maybe
yeah.
that's not the right thing to do anymore. What are your thoughts on all that?
Well, I see Dan McDonald's got his hand up. He's an agent in my organization, and don't let him go down this rabbit hole of how he answers the phone, okay? Because he
Okay.
uses AI generated stuff and has an incredibly good answering system, but to me, I just can't figure it out. Okay, it's complicated. So
Okay.
he's don't let Dan go there, or we'll be here another hour. But the most important thing I can say in all that is I use a Google
Google phone voice,
Google
Google phone.
phone, but it's not my local area code.
Okay.
In our market, people don't, tie us into our area codes because Atlanta's, got so many different ones that doesn't really matter to them. So
Right.
the most
Okay.
important thing is to answer the call. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and stop sharing your screen, Tony.
Yeah,
Whatever,
sure.
we can maybe pull that QR code back up if we need to, but just so we
Sure.
can all see each other a little bit better. There we go.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I don't have any sales in my service areas. And you were stating that it's good to have your sign in the area that you work. Could I um, go to a home that was recently sold in the service area, maybe with my sign in the neighborhood, and talk about that home, saying this home sold for this amount of days, it was on the
Yeah.
market for this? Would that help
Yeah.
me
The thing,
expand into my area?
well, the thing you got to think about, something you just said there, is having your sign at a listing like that is great for YouTube. Google
Okay.
does not want to see your phone number on your
Right.
sign.
I don't have numbers on there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's important to them as well. The other thing is that you can expand your service area as large as you want it to go, and there's a way of drawing, all the different counties and all of where you want your service area to be
Mm-hmm.
inside your Google Business Profile. There's a way of doing that in your settings. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so you can show that you work anywhere. Yeah, Carlton's
Okay.
had his hand up a long time.
He has his arms tired. Hey, Carlton, go ahead and unmute yourself. And
Well, let me just say one thing to her question. Just contact somebody that's at EXP that sold a house, right? Say, hey, do you mind if I do some marketing on the house that you just sold?
Yeah,
And just go that route. I wouldn't go to some random houses that somebody else sold
right.
outside of EXP. I would reach out to some of your local EXP agents. Hey, I'm trying to up my marketing a little bit. Do you mind if
Yeah.
you know, share some of your, maybe even listings, right? I
Well,
Yeah,
mean,
I was
listing
thinking of
people.
marketing stats. I wasn't thinking about a non-EXP person, because what if there is no person, but should I be able to do marketing stats on that, how many houses sold
yeah.
in this
You
neighborhood?
can do
And
Yeah,
marketing
for
stats
sure.
anywhere. Yeah. But
okay,
like in Bold Trail, I'll go to an EXP agent and say, "Would you mind if I market your listing?" Okay.
okay,
And and surely they'll say yes.
sure,
In Georgia, we can't market other companies' listings. Okay.
okay,
Of course, we do it in our multi-list system, but you can't go borrow a listing from a different company. It has to be
right.
within the company. And you want permission of the agent whenever you do any sort of marketing.
Mm-hmm. And then I have another question, and it's about, should I change? I have a Google number. I don't use the Google number, but I think I should use the Google number. Now, of all the sites that I have in social media, I think I should change the telephone number to
Yeah.
that Google number,
Yeah,
so
Google
that way
wants
I
you to,
can
yeah,
track.
yeah, Google wants you to use their products. Okay.
Okay.
So I would change it if you can. Yeah.
And then there's one more in Bold
hold on,
Trail.
Red. Hold on a
Yeah,
second. I'll come back to you.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Carlton, go ahead.
Um, Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Tony. I did leave a Google review with you on your Google Business page, probably like last month.
Thank you.
So thank you for this education here. I have a question. I have a Google Business profile. I've had one for a while. Just really hadn't used it because I didn't have this type of training. But I have an issue with, there's another person named Carlton Lewis who was actually exonerated for a murder, and his name shows up, or the advertisements or whatever, or articles show up ahead of my name. So if people are looking for me, I'm like, okay, this guy's showing up first, and they're probably like, hey, this guy's was a convict. So how is there some kind of way I can get over that, or it's just the consistent posting
This
weekly is gonna boost me up?
it's consistency. I doubt
Okay.
that he's paying for a Google ad in there. But
I'd kill to get you into that house.
yeah,
Yeah.
consistency is going to bring your SEO is going to go up. I've got a Anthony Williams that committed mortgage fraud 15 years ago. So every time I do a VA deal, I have to prove my social security number. So I
Wow.
hear what you're saying, but in
Okay.
Google, your activity is going to move you past him. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The things we talked about today. Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Cool.
sure. All right.
Dan,
Oh boy, here we go. Dan.
Well, actually, Tony, I wasn't going to talk about what you mentioned. I was going to say something else. I'm talking the heirs and omissions insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, you guys on your Google profile, you want to look at that closely because when our heirs and omission policy expires, Google always makes me upload every year, and there's been agents that I've seen online where their Google profile has got suspended, and it's a nightmare getting it back because they did not upload their errors and omissions policy annually, which Google requires. So you really want to keep an eye on that. And going back to your question on 24 hours, I've done quite a bit of research, and Google can potentially penalize you if you're not answering your phones 24/7. So I had a live answering service for about a year and a half. They weren't picking up calls, they were making mistakes. So, like Tony mentioned, I switched over to an AI agent attendant 90 days ago. I've done over 300 test calls. So I've got it teed down now, really good.
Yeah.
yeah,
But it makes a big difference having that call answered 24/7. And what I was having the problem with Google is that I was getting renter calls and people trying to sell stuff, and I was being charged for them, and I'd argue it, and Google was still charging me. So finally, I had to change my initial AI tenant greeting to
Yeah.
use those calls before it even rings my phone.
Yeah. And one of the things I found out from this is when someone calls you and you hear them say, I pressure wash houses, I immediately say, this line is reserved for buyers and sellers of real estate. Thanks for calling. I hang up on them because I don't want to go through the thing of possibly being charged. You have 30 seconds to qualify what type of call it is. Now, Google will also qualify it, but you have 30 seconds. So I just tell them this line's reserved for buyers and sellers of real estate. Yeah.
it's good.
Good to
Very
see
good.
you on here, Dan. Yeah.
Ted, go ahead. You're next.
Okay. So, just a question. You said that our websites are not very Google friendly. Do you recommend a platform or whatever to create a good website?
Now that QR code I had a minute ago, bulletproof. What I did is I subscribed to a level that would create a brand new website for me, and they create that, and now I work that website all the time, and it's way up on Google. You know, Google likes the website I have now, and that company did that for me. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Something to look at.
yeah,
It might help too. I know from our training with Anthony Robinson with Bold Trail, a lot of us have Bold Trail, but to get that vanity domain, which now makes it found by Google, because if you just go with your regular exprealty.com domain that EXP gives you for the site, that is not searchable by Google. So
right.
I do spend $11 a month to have the vanity domain, and I think that's helping. But anyway, something to maybe check
The
on.
other, if
Good. Go
someone
ahead.
leaves, yeah, if someone tries to leave you a review with their EXP email address, that'll get you knocked down on Google, okay? Because they don't want inside company things going on, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good. That Adrienne, go ahead. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I can.
There you
Please help me troubleshoot how
go.
to
Help.
get this page back up. So I had it up. It was great. I loaded several pictures and boom, they shut me down. And I have gone back and forth trying to figure out what it is because when you submit a question to Google asking, okay, what do I need to do? They'll just send you I guess the rules. They don't tell
Right.
you exactly what it is. So how do
Can you still get into your back office of Google?
Yes, I can.
Okay, here's the reason I'm asking you. There's a phone number there. I found that when
Ah,
I use the phone number, I get things done. Yeah,
gosh. Okay. So
yeah.
there is a
There's a
phone
phone
number
number.
somewhere
Under
back there.
contact, under contact Google, call the phone number. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good.
that's been pretty helpful for me, Adrian. There's been several times I've needed a call for different things, and that they're pretty good about that in terms of really, they'll work with you on that. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Red, I'm coming back to you. Can you unmute yourself? I didn't forget about you. She turned her camera off.
Okay,
There you
hold
go.
on.
You're back.
Okay.
You're back. I didn't
Um,
forget. I
yeah.
make everybody else there too. So go ahead.
No, no, I didn't realize.
That's
I was
okay.
just so excited. Um, you were saying that the website is not that great for SEO. I'm talking about Bold Trail. Or no, EXP website. But Bold Trail has a blog, right? That we can get, that we can use.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
blog.
Yeah, so couldn't I start putting content on my blog?
yeah,
And
that would
maybe,
help. That
yeah,
would, of course, that will help. Yeah,
okay. And that can drive
right.
stuff to my website,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Okay.
right.
All right.
So I was asked, Jeff, could I show my back office? You want to try the
Yeah.
sharing
Go
that?
ahead. Try
I think that
sharing your
I
screen
may.
again. See if you can.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay.
Okay, this is the page that if you can you see that okay?
Yeah, we
So
see it.
so this is the business verification side of this, okay? And it's under your ad. If you see at the top there, it says ads.google.com/local services. That's where you find your back office, for the detailed stuff like where your calls are. Like I'll show you where my leads are. That's where my leads are. Okay. And then my overall Google business profile back office, I can click on that and you can see, there's where I'm able to, post photos. I can ask for reviews. I can check the reviews that are there as well. And, it says, I've replied to all the reviews. Okay. So that's good. All right. But, that's where I can go in and that's under just your Google business profile that's under all your different links under Google. Okay.
There you go.
So that's where those things are. Yeah.
Cool.
Like, and see, here's where the calls came in. I can see I was charged for one yesterday and then, in review, not charged, all those things. And if I were to click on one of these things, I can see, I can rate that review and I can listen to that review down here at the recording and then go back up and rate it. It really wants me to rate the reviews as well.
Rate
Questions
the
there?
calls.
Anything
Okay.
there?
It's good.
Yeah.
Any questions off that? Guys, it's worth getting this figured out and set up. I mean, it's so minimal on the charges, you know. Let me, Tony, is there and Dan, you guys both using this live? I'm using my Google. I mean, again, it's done well for us, but always working on it. I mean, is there such a thing as posting too much on my Google business page?
I don't think there is. I mean,
I'm
uh,
posting 3 and 4 times a day right now on my Google business. Some of it's automated. I've got AI stuff doing some like, again, market statistics and different things. I am taking like our listings. I'm posting up, one of our listings right now, like every day I'm posting on there something about that listing, whether it's some, maybe one photo with some different things about that home, and I'm just very active on that page. I mean, and we're getting calls on a weekly basis from our Google
so
page. I mean,
one of the things I'm trying to figure out right now is I subscribe to Keeping Current Matters, okay?
right.
And it'll post things in my Instagram on my Facebook, and then Google sees all that. And so I'm trying to check right now those types of automated posts. What does Google think about those as well?
Right.
I'm just trying to make it strong. One thing before we get off here, let me just show you something under this I'm gonna show you something that's gonna scare you to death. Okay. So
Yeah.
if I look at my profile and my budget, now remember I don't pay anything for Google Ads. Okay. I pay nothing for Google Ads. But
Right.
no, look at my average weekly budget, $7,000 a week. See that? So
Yeah.
my coach, the bulletproof people, they told me, they said, I had on there like $35 a week, and they said, no, you need to boost it up. And they said, don't boost it all at one time. So I went from 35 to $100 a week to 250 a week. And the more I increase my weekly budget, the more Google, activates me out there to get calls. but that doesn't mean that I'm paying that. That just means I want to be more active is really. And of course, they're all the time hitting me up with, would you like to run an ad? No, I don't want to run an ad.
Yeah.
I want, I want all this to come from SEO. Yeah.
Right. Can I ask Tony, roughly how much are you spending a week with what you're doing? And it's mainly for the phone calls, right? That's where
Yeah.
you're being.
I have a cap of $500 a month. Okay.
Okay.
And, sometimes it may show that I've spent 750 and I have a cap of 500, but most of the time I'm spending about, in the low 200s a month, you know,
Yeah.
but you say, well, I don't want to spend $200 a month. If I told you how much money I was making from Google, you would spend whatever. And that's the reason, putting $7,000 on there didn't scare me after they explained it to me, because we are getting a tremendous return for what we pay, Google and also Bulletproof, I mean,
Yeah.
we essentially take all our revenue share, dump it into an account, got rid of all the shiny objects out there and rebudgeted our marketing to go toward Google and Bulletproof. Yeah.
Definitely.
Which
For
hosts
sure.
my website and stuff.
So
So
Bulletproof is who you had that QR code for, right, Tony? So,
exactly.
It's like the
if you
coach
guys
study.
contact them, if you want to pop that back up real quick, if you guys contact them, use that QR code, I mean, doesn't cost you anything different. It just gives Tony a little bit of a
Let me see if I can pull it up
little
again.
bit of a rebate, but if you're going to use them anyway. So that's who he used to really
Here,
help him
Tony, I
through
can
this
share. I'll
whole
share my
process.
screen. Here, hold on, Tony. Because right here, I took a screenshot of it. So
Oh, you did? Great. There it is.
there's
Yeah.
that QR code right there.
Yeah. And just
Okay.
so you know, if you sign up, I get $50. Okay. So
There you go.
always
Yeah.
like disclosing everything. So
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, help Tony out.
those
Yeah.
are great guys.
If you're
They're
going to
over in
use them for sure, just use that code. But
and they'll
Yeah.
be at EXPCon as well.
Bulletproof. So good stuff.
good
Anything
stuff. Yes.
I
Thank
want to
you
make
so
sure
much.
everybody's
Thank you
questions
for the
answered.
invite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony, thank you
Yes,
for putting
Tony.
all this
Thank you for
together and
coming.
doing it. Great
Yeah.
stuff to work on. Yeah, good things. Anything else? We're good. So, guys, tomorrow, again, reminder: you can go to the EXP YouTube channel. They go live on there at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, same time that we're on here. But they go live for the big agent meeting. Okay, that's every Wednesday now. I'm still dog sitting my daughter's dog. Get down. Um, and then Thursdays the Q&A with Kelly and Eric, and then Friday is our open mastermind connect and collaborate. So join us on Friday for sure. That's always good. We'll hit some of this stuff. So cool. Tony, thank you again.
Thank
Totally
you.
appreciate it. Excellent. Okay,
Thank
guys, thank you. Have a great day. This recording will be posted probably tomorrow within the next 48 hours. You'll see it up there. All right.
Tony, I'll send it to you, buddy.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Cool.
Tony.
Have
Appreciate
a
you.
good day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.